right, everyone. Get ready for a deep dive today into some pretty amazing facts and figures about our world, the human body, even some luxury items.
Yeah, should be fun.
You ever wonder how many countries there are in the world?
Or
what the most popular food might be?
yeah.
Well, we're going to be talking about all that and more. We've got a really interesting document here, just packed with all kinds of fascinating trivia.
It's really amazing to me just how much you can learn about the world.
Yeah.
Just by looking at some of these seemingly random facts and figures.
Absolutely. Well, let's jump right in. Our source kicks things off with a pretty mind-boggling number, 196.
Wow.
That's how many countries there are on Earth. And get this, those 196 countries are home to 8.2 billion people.
That's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people.
And to think about all the diversity within those 196 countries, there's 7,139 languages spoken across the world.
Wow.
And there's 180 different currencies.
It's pretty incredible when you think about it that way.
It really is.
So, we're talking about size. Our source mentions that Russia is the largest country in terms of landmass, but China actually has the biggest population. So it's kind of a good reminder that land size doesn't always mean a bigger population.
Right. It's population density. That's a really good point. And then you have somewhere like Vatican City, a whole country completely enveloped by Rome. It's actually smaller than a lot of city parks, but it's home to some of the most iconic landmarks in the world. The Sistine Chapel, St. Peter's Basilica.
It's amazing how such a small country can hold such a massive amount of history and cultural importance. Speaking of large, though, Africa is the second largest continent. And according to our source, it's home to some pretty serious geographical extremes. We're talking about the longest river in the world, the Nile.
Oh, wow.
And the hottest and second largest desert on Earth, the Sahara Desert.
That's incredible. It really shows just how diverse the landscapes and climates are across Africa. I mean, you've got everything. Lush rainforests, vast savannas, arid deserts, all on one continent.
Talk about a continent of contrasts, right? All right, well, let's shift gears a little bit here. Let's zoom in, way in, and talk about the human body for a second. Did you know your skin is actually the largest organ in your body?
Oh, wow. I never thought about that. I mean, we always think of organs as being like your heart or your lungs or something. But yeah, I guess skin makes sense.
Huh. Yeah, it's easy to forget that your skin is even an organ. But it plays such an important role, protecting us from the elements, regulating our temperature.
Absolutely. And it's incredibly complex too. I mean, think about it. Your skin is constantly regenerating, adapting to the environment.
It is. And now let's go to the opposite end of the spectrum and talk about the smallest bone in the human body.
Okay.
That would be the stapes.
Yeah.
And it's located right in your middle ear. And it's actually even smaller than a grain of rice.
I had no idea.
It's wild to think something that tiny is actually essential for us to be able to hear.
I know, right? So what does it do? How does it work?
Well, the stapes plays this really crucial role in transmitting sound vibrations. So they go from the eardrum to your inner ear, where they're converted into electrical signals. Then your brain can interpret those signals.
It's amazing how much intricate and delicate machinery makes up our bodies.
I know. All right, well, you ready for another fascinating fact?
Sure.
Let's talk about food. From the smallest bone to the most popular food in the world.
What could it be?
Drum roll, please. Rice.
Rice. Huh. What do you think it is that makes rice such a popular food?
I think it's incredibly versatile. You can eat it as a side dish, a main course. You could even make desserts out of it.
That's true.
Plus, it's relatively inexpensive and it's pretty readily available in most parts of the world.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. It's that adaptability to all these different cuisines and climates and its affordability that's made it a staple food for billions of people.
Absolutely. Now let's go from an everyday staple like rice to something super luxurious. We're going to talk about the world's most expensive phone.
Oh, okay.
It's called the Falcon Supernova iPhone 6 Pink Diamond.
Okay. How much is it?
Are you ready for the price tag?
Yeah.
$48.5 million.
$48.5 million for a phone.
That's right.
What makes it so special?
It's definitely not your average smartphone. This is like for the ultra elite.
Right.
We're talking heads of state, royalty. It even has a pink diamond embedded in the back, a 24-karat gold casing, platinum plating.
Wow. I think I'd need to win the lottery a few times.
A few times over to even think about buying that.
It's amazing how something as as simple as a phone can become such a symbol of extravagance.
Oh, I know. It's crazy. All right, let's get back to some incredible natural wonders. Our source says the Pacific Ocean is the largest and the deepest ocean on Earth. It actually covers 30% of our planet's surface.
30%.
That's right.
It's hard to even imagine just how vast that is.
And you know what? It contains over half of the Earth's free water, and its depths are still largely unexplored.
It's like a whole world hidden beneath the waves.
It really is.
Yeah.
And just to put in perspective, the other oceans in order of size are the Atlantic, the Indian, Southern, and Arctic. But how about a quick brain teaser?
Okay, I love brain teasers. Hit me.
What year comes after 2099?
Well, 2100, obviously.
You would think so, right?
Yeah.
But it's actually 2100.
Wait, what? How is that possible?
So it's all about how we group years into centuries. The 21st century, for example, runs from 2001 to 2100. So the year after 2099 is actually the beginning of the 21st century's second 100 years, hence 2100.
I never thought about it like that.
Right. It's amazing how a simple question about years can lead to such an interesting look at our calendar system.
It really is. It's those unexpected connections that make learning this stuff so fun.
I agree. All right, back to the regularly scheduled trivia. Did you know that back in the year 2000, Real Madrid was voted the world's most popular football club?
Really?
Yeah. At the FIFA World Gala in Rome, they got 42.35% of the vote.
Wow. That really speaks to their legacy and the size of their global fan base.
Okay, now from popular football clubs to one of the wealthiest individuals in history.
Okay.
Our source says that Mansa Musa from the ancient Mali Empire holds the title of richest man, both living and dead. His wealth was legendary. It came from those vast gold and salt reserves of his empire.
I mean, everyone's heard of Mansa Musa, but his influence went far beyond just his wealth, too. I mean, he was a renowned scholar, an architect, a devout Muslim. He embarked on this pilgrimage to Mecca that's become legendary for its extravagant displays of gold and generosity.
And his story still captures our imagination all these centuries later. And, sticking with Africa for a second.
Okay.
It's pretty fascinating that the continent produces 70% of the world's cocoa beans.
Yeah. I mean, cocoa beans are a major export for so many African nations. It really contributes significantly to their economies.
Right.
And let's not forget about diamonds. Africa's a huge player in the diamond trade. Lots of countries there have abundant diamond deposits.
It's remarkable how such a diverse continent holds such a significant portion of these really valuable resources.
Yeah, it really underscores Africa's global importance, both historically and in the world today.
Absolutely. Yeah. Speaking of riches, our source mentions that the two richest countries in Africa are Seychelles and Mauritius.
Oh, interesting.
So Seychelles is known for those beautiful beaches,
right,
and their booming tourism industry. They actually have a really high GDP per capita. And Mauritius has a more diversified economy. Things like textiles, sugar production, finance, all contribute to its wealth. It's really amazing to me how all these seemingly random facts about countries, oceans, even our own bodies, are starting to connect and paint this picture of how interconnected our world really is.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what other hidden connections are out there just waiting to be discovered, and how does understanding these seemingly small facts help us to better understand the big picture of our world?
It makes you appreciate the complexity and all the wonder of everything around us, doesn't it?
It really does. It makes you want to delve deeper into those little details we see every day.
Totally.
And learn more.
Speaking of everyday details, you ever notice how one end of an egg is rounder and the other end is more pointed?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's because of how it's formed inside the hen.
Okay, how so?
So as the egg travels through the hen's reproductive tract, it rotates. And the pointed end forms first. And as it keeps rotating, the rounder end develops last.
So the egg's shape is literally a product of its journey through the hen.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
It is, and it's like a perfect example of how even the simplest things can have these fascinating backstories.
I love that. It's like a little time capsule of its creation.
Yeah.
Speaking of fascinating stories, let's go back to the Pacific Ocean for a sec.
Yeah.
We know it's the largest and deepest ocean, but did you know it's also super old? The rocks on the Pacific Ocean floor date back 200 million years.
Wow. 200 million years. Think about everything that's happened in that time. The continents shifting, marine life evolving, all beneath the surface of this massive body of water.
It really is like a living history book.
Yeah.
And let's not forget about the deepest point of the Pacific, The Challenger Deep in the Mariana Trench.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The Challenger Deep plunges down, get this, 11,034 meters.
That's incredible.
That's over 36,000 feet. I mean, you could practically fit Mount Everest in there with room to spare.
That's insane. I can't even fathom the pressure and the darkness down there.
Oh, I know. It's like an alien environment, pushes the limits of life as we know it. But even in those extreme conditions, life finds a way.
That's true. It's a good reminder that we still have so much to learn about our own planet and all the life that it holds. And speaking of diversity, let's go back to the human body for a minute.
Okay.
We already touched on the skin being the largest organ and the stapes being the smallest bone. But did you know that your body contains a network of blood vessels that could circle the Earth twice? Yeah. If you laid out all the blood vessels in your body, end to end, they'd stretch over 100,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
Which is more than twice the circumference of the Earth.
Wow. So all that's happening right under our skin, constantly circulating blood, delivering oxygen and nutrients to every cell. It's amazing.
It really is this marvel of biological engineering.
Yeah.
All those arteries and veins and capillaries just working tirelessly to keep us alive. And speaking of amazing things, I've always been so fascinated by the human brain.
Oh, me too.
It's like this incredible control center that dictates, everything we do, our thoughts and emotions, our movements.
The human brain is arguably the most complex structure in the known universe. I mean, it has billions of neurons, all interconnected in this vast network that allows us to, process information, learn, remember, experience the world around us.
It really is mind-boggling when you think about it. All of that from just this 3-pound organ. All right, let's take a trip back in time.
Okay.
Our source tells us about this incredible ancient city called Petra. It was carved into the rock face of a mountain in Jordan.
Petra.
It was once this thriving trade center and the capital of the Nabatean kingdom.
Yeah, Petra is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's one of the most beautiful archaeological wonders in the world.
It really is.
All those facades and temples and tombs carved from that rose-colored sandstone.
It's beautiful.
Amazing.
I've always been fascinated by ancient civilizations and the way they interacted with their environments. And Petra is this perfect example of human ingenuity and artistry. They adapted to the landscape and transformed it in a way that's still inspiring today.
It's a testament to the power of human creativity and the legacy that we leave behind for future generations to appreciate.
I love that.
No, it's so cool. And those contrasts and comparisons, I think, are really what make these facts so memorable.
I agree.
Like, our brains are hardwired to be drawn to the biggest, the smallest, and the oldest, and the newest things. It's what keeps us curious.
Exactly, and keeps us engaged with the world around us.
Right. That innate curiosity is what drives us to learn and explore and understand our place in the world.
It's really incredible how just these random facts we've been talking about can spark such profound thoughts.
It really is, yeah. It really shows just how powerful knowledge is and how everything's really connected.
I agree. Well, before we wrap up today's deep dive, I think we should take a second to think back on some of the cool stuff we've learned. We started off with a pretty simple question. How many countries are there? Turns out there's 196. And they each have such a unique history and culture and language.
Yeah, it's amazing. And we didn't just stop there, right? I mean, we've explored the most extreme parts of our planet, from Mount Everest to the Mariana Trench. Can you imagine life thriving under all that pressure and in total darkness?
I know, it's crazy. We even journeyed inside the human body and marveled at how complex our skin is, how tiny the stapes bone is, and how about that Falcon Supernova iPhone 6 pink diamond?
Oh yeah, that phone, it makes a Lamborghini look cheap.
I know. But even beyond just those cool facts and figures, what really sticks with me is that underlying theme of interconnectedness. It's amazing how something as simple as the shape of an egg or how popular rice is can tell us so much about the world, history, even ourselves.
It really shows that knowledge isn't just about knowing a bunch of random facts. It's about understanding how those facts fit together to tell a bigger story. And that story's always changing as we learn more and make new connections.
And that's what makes learning so exciting, this never-ending journey of exploration.
Exactly. It's an open invitation to stay curious, ask questions, never stop exploring.
I like that. Well said. To all our listeners out there, keep those minds curious, keep exploring. We'll see you on our next deep dive.
Hey, just a quick reminder. We are the Forby Songs, and if you find our channel interesting, please subscribe, like, comment, and remember to click the notification bell so you will be the first to know whenever we drop contents like this. Stay safe and stay blessed.
feathers fly when you try to pay, but deep down you're just a nervous wreck.